This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Thursday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this February 6th.
The system is broken, and it's our residents and officers who are stuck in the middle of it.
Police calling government leaders to act after 4 people were found shot and killed on the northeast side overnight. What they want done to address the violence.
President Trump reacting today after being acquitted in the impeachment trial. Results from the Senate vote that is keeping him in office.
And this month, we're focusing on heart health with our Go Red for Women initiative, how one woman lost 100 pounds in her journey to achieve a healthier lifestyle. But first, we do need to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. And Todd Clausen is standing by with a pretty busy forecast. Todd, we know we have more than 80 school delays this morning.
Yeah, and a lot of that's from what has fallen last night and into the overnight hours. Not a whole lot out there right now as you take a live look at Storm Team 6 radar. The drizzle is still present, though, and it's just so light that the radar cannot pick it up. So as you head out the door, you'll have to throw the windshield wipers on and obviously be very careful on the streets, especially the side roads and the roads that were untreated throughout the course of the last 12 hours or so. But there's not a whole lot of additional precipitation in the forecast this morning, with the exception of that drizzle, which really is probably not going to hamper much at all. As far as what goes forward throughout the day, you do notice that this band of snow, we will bring some snow showers in later on this afternoon, and that will give us a little better opportunity to pick up more in the way of some minor snow accumulation. 31 in Bloomington right now, 27 in Indianapolis, 25 as you work your way from Tipton up into the Peru area. So everybody is still below freezing, so whatever drizzle is out there will freeze again on surfaces that were untreated. As we go throughout the day, this winter weather advisory, it's been trimmed here in southern locations where temperatures are near freezing. This will be expired at 10 a.m. even though we will pick up additional snow showers later on this afternoon. As far as temperatures today, they don't do a whole lot. A high only right around 31 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on those roads this morning. The good news, no crashes out there at this early hour. Let's take a look as you're heading southbound right now from the northwest side. Starting off here at State Road 267, heading to I-70 at the North Split. It's a 21-minute drive. Everything there is traveling smoothly. Let's take a look across town, I-465 and I-69 from our INDOT traffic camera. Traffic's picking up, as you can see on the interstates. Good news, again, no crashes to report. Keep an eye on those school delays, though. Check the RTV6 app for the full list before you head out.
We're following a developing story as Metro Police work to determine what led to a deadly shooting overnight. Police say 4 people were found dead at a house in the 4100 block of Shady Oak Drive near East 42nd and Midhofer Road. The victims, 3 men and 1 woman, were found inside the home. They all appear to be suffering from gunshot wounds. The identities of those victims or any possible suspects have not been released. Now, this shooting happened about an hour after the Indianapolis City County Council voted not to create a new commission to research potential causes of crime in the city. Residents and members of the Indianapolis Metro Police Department spoke in favor of the commission. Rick Snyder of the Fraternal Order of Police expressed frustration while at the Shady Oaks Drive crime scene, calling on leaders to take action.
Where's the mayor at? Where's the sheriff at? Where's the prosecutor at? These are the people that are in the positions to take care of these issues. And we've been begging them to just speak out about it. And they've been silent.
Now, despite the support for a commission at last night's meeting, the committee said existing resources and studies will be used to find solutions to crime and violence.
Time right now is 5:04. Police, city, and community leaders will hold a meeting on the northeast side this evening after a robbery here at this subway station turns deadly. The meeting starts at 6:30 at Castleton United Methodist Church on Shadeland Avenue. Officials will talk about neighborhood safety and the crime itself. 35-year-old Ashok Kumar was shot and killed in that attempted robbery back on January 27th. This was at the subway station on Shadeland Avenue near 75th Street. Police released these surveillance pictures of 3 suspects in the case. No arrests have been reported. If you have any information, you can call Crime Stoppers anonymously. That's 317-262-TIPS.
It is therefore ordered and adjudged that the said Donald John Trump be, and he is hereby, acquitted of the charges in said articles.
After a 3-week trial, the Senate has voted to acquit President Trump of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The vote was 52-48 on the first article, with one Republican, Mitt Romney, voting with Democrats. The chamber needed 2/3 of the vote to convict and remove the president from office. President Trump is scheduled to make a statement on his acquittal later today. And now President Trump's re-election bid continues to move forward. Second Lady Karen Pence returned to the Hoosier State yesterday to file the necessary paperwork to get President Trump's name on the Indiana ballot. She delivered the necessary documents to the Secretary of State's office. Candidates already on Indiana's primary ballot for president are Republican Bill Weld, the former governor of Massachusetts, and Democrats Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, and Tom Steyer. The deadline to file is noon tomorrow.
Another candidate has dropped out of the race for Indiana governor. Tech business leader Democrat Josh Owens announcing he's withdrawing his bid. Instead, he says he'll put his support behind fellow Democrat Dr. Woody Myers, who's also on the ballot. Owens says in a statement that he believed Democrats needed to avoid a divisive primary. Democrats will be going up against current Indiana governor Republican Eric Holcomb in the November election.
Indianapolis residents are one step closer to having somewhere to turn when landlords and apartment management fail to help. A proposal advanced by the City County Council would offer new protections and resources for tenants. It's called the Tenant Protections and Legal Services Initiative and would give residents a new avenue to report issues and offer protection from landlords. Through it, the city would also work with Indiana Legal Services and counsel tenants on their rights during disputes.
Oftentimes we find that tenants don't know where to turn. And it's one thing if what is needed is a bit of rental assistance or energy assistance to pay a heat or light bill in the wintertime. It's another thing if they're living in conditions that need to be reported and need to be fixed, addressed by the landlord. That could be a hole in the roof. That could be lack of heat in the middle of wintertime.
The initiative still needs to be voted on by the full council. If approved, it could go into effect sometime this spring.
It's 5:07. A new airline landing in Indianapolis International Airport means new flights and new jobs. Contour Airlines plans to launch operations on June 10th. Direct flights will be offered from Indianapolis to Nashville, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. The company says it will create up to 55 new jobs here in central Indiana by the end of 2023. Contour says it's immediately hiring pilots, flight attendants, customer service agents, mechanics, and ground personnel. You can apply at contourairlines.com.
A Madison County mother is on a mission to start an LGBT youth support group in Pendleton.
My son tried to commit suicide almost 2 weeks ago because he felt so alone. He didn't feel like he could reach out to anyone, and I can't lose my child.
After Molly Downey's 15-year-old son tried to take his own life, she tried to find an LGBTQ support group for him, but she didn't find much in her own community. She hopes that by speaking publicly, others will be inspired to get involved.
I don't care if my child is straight, gay, it doesn't matter. Every kid needs to know that there's somewhere they can reach out to. So if this is how I start with mine, then so be it.
The principal at Pendleton Heights High School says the school's Gay Straight Alliance group has not been active for several years, but anyone who wants to get involved can contact school leaders.
The time right now is 5:08. February is American Heart Month, and R2B6 is partnering with the Go Red for Women campaign, sponsored by the American Heart Association. This month, we're highlighting women who have overcome health obstacles and are now living healthy lifestyles. Our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with a story of a woman who changed her life one small goal at a time. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So yeah, one tiny goal turned into another tiny goal, which took Allison Morrison on a journey she never thought would be possible. In just 2 years, she lost over 100 pounds. Now take a closer look. Allison Morrison side by side. On the right, she's at her heaviest. In the middle, down 50 pounds. And that woman you see in the red dress, well, she's lost 100 pounds. And that's why this year, she is one of the finalists for the American Heart Association's Real People, Real Change Award. An award for people who have made an effort to live a healthier life. This morning, Morrison has this message for anyone who's working for a healthier you.
Take it slow, don't give up, make tiny goals, and the tiny goals reach those daily and change your goals daily. But the little changes in your life lead to big changes.
Morrison says having support from her friends and family is another reason she was so successful in her journey. Now, tomorrow is National Wear Red Day, so if you do wear red, be sure to tag RTV6 in your photos on social media. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, as you walk out the door here this morning, you'll have to use a little bit of caution out there on the roadways as we continue to deal with some patchy freezing drizzle across the area. The precipitation we have this morning is very, very light, but you notice the percentage of precipitation goes up throughout the course of the evening hours, and that will be in the form of some snow showers that'll be making their way through the area. So this morning it's kind of drizzle, then this afternoon we bring in the snow aspect of it. Temperatures are below freezing. Untreated roadways, untreated sidewalks will have the potential to be slick this morning. That's why we have a lot of school delays out there currently, and also some school closures. So make sure you check on that. But when you look at the satellite radar picture, you see the clouds, but you don't see much in the way of any precipitation. That's because drizzle's so light, the radar cannot pick it up. But back off to our west, some of these snow showers will rotate through later on this afternoon. As they come through, there will be the potential for some minor accumulation. We're talking about a coating to maybe a ½ an inch of snow in spots. We'll talk more about the snow in just a little bit, but otherwise temperatures today, they really don't do a whole lot. We stay in the upper 20s to low 30s across the area.
Todd, thank you. The work continues this morning in Iowa after issues with the caucus calculations. Coming up, the candidates in the lead as the results continue to come in.
And a plane crash left 3 dead and more than 100 injured in Turkey. Still ahead, what officials believe caused the fiery crash. We'll be right back.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
A traffic alert right now for drivers in Greenfield and areas to our east. Take a look here at I-70. This is near the rest area. We have reports of people sliding around on bridges in that area out in Hancock County. You can see people are taking it pretty slow. Looks like we may have some sort of vehicle out there, hopefully salting those roads, helping get some traction on I-70 this morning. Just use caution, though, because we know roads all around the area could be slick this morning, especially those bridges and overpasses.
A new batch of results coming in early this morning from the Iowa caucus after a faulty app made it difficult to count votes. 97% of precincts have now reported pinning a narrow margin between former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. The nearly tied contest gives both candidates some momentum moving forward. Coming in after them is Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Amy Klobuchar. Full results are expected later this morning.
It is 5:15. 3 people are dead and 179 people are hurt after an airplane in Istanbul crashed and caught fire. Video of the crash shows the plane land and skid before bursting into flames. 3 of the victims are still in the intensive care unit. Turkish authorities say that the Pegasus Airlines plane went off the runway and crashed into a field, literally splitting in 2. Lines of showers and thunderstorms were in the area when the plane crashed, but Turkish prosecutors are investigating the cause of that crash.
A senior ICE official says its officers are now fingerprinting migrant minors in shelters. According to ICE, the minors being fingerprinted are over the age of 14 and are not in ICE custody. Instead, they are under the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement. ICE argues that fingerprinting the children will help protect them. The agency has been criticized before for their methods used to ID and monitor migrants, including over its DNA collection policy.
It's 5:16. Facebook is the latest social media platform to demand that a facial recognition company stop harvesting user photos. Tech startup Clearview AI uses the images to identify people in part and does work with police. But police, or rather Facebook, along with Twitter, YouTube, and Venmo, all say that violates their privacy policy. All platforms have sent letters to the company demanding them to stop. The Clearview CEO says it only uses photos that are set to public and only shares them with authorities to find criminals. Right now at 5:16, let's check out what's going on in our forecast today, Todd.
All right, as you walk out the door this morning, you're walking out to a little bit of patchy drizzle across the area with the temperatures at or below freezing in many locations. That is in the form of freezing drizzle. Now, we've had a lot of salt put down on the roadways over the last 24 hours, so I think the freezing drizzle would mainly impact bridges, sidewalks, and some of the side roads across the area. I think there's probably enough salt on the main roads that they should be in decent shape for you. As we work our way through the early afternoon hours, just cloudy skies, steady temperatures, and then this evening, snow showers will make their way into the area with some minor accumulation. By minor, we're talking generally probably a coating to maybe a ½ an inch at tops, maybe 1 inch of snow in spots up to the north. 27 right now in Indy, it's 25 in Tipton, as well as the Peru area, 31 in Bloomington. So most locations are still below freezing. This morning, these temperatures will come up just a couple degrees for your afternoon highs later on this afternoon. When you look at Storm Team 6 radar, or you pull up radar on the RTV6 app or the Storm Shield app, it's not really going to show much across the area, but there is that patchy drizzle that's out there, and you're most likely going to have to throw your windshield wipers on a couple times as you make your commute into work this morning. It's just the drizzle gets very hard to pick up because it's so light by the radar beams that get sent out from the site. But the more significant snow is to the north. Then there's this band to the south, and that's the snow shower activity that we'll be dealing with as we work our way into the second half of the day. So let me walk you through TrueCast. The clouds are locked in throughout the entire day. Don't bank on any sunshine here throughout the day today. But once we get into the evening commute, look how these snow showers start to fill back in. I think the biggest issue probably with these snow showers, again, because there's quite a bit of salt on the main roadways, the biggest issue would probably be some reduced visibility on the roadways. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on as they start to make their way into the area. And some of these snow showers will linger all the way into Friday morning as well, with those minor accumulations possible up to 1 inch in spots. Temperatures not doing a whole lot. As I mentioned, we level off probably just right around 31 degrees throughout the afternoon hours. And as those snow showers come back in, the temperature gets down to 30 degrees. Tomorrow is a pretty quiet day to end the work week. Just not a lot in the way of sunshine. Temperatures will struggle to warm. Once again, barely just above freezing. With skies that'll be mostly cloudy, and your 7-day planning forecast shows not much in the way of sunshine going forward. Some more snow showers possible on Saturday, some scattered rain showers on Sunday as the overall weather pattern remains very active. The good news is once we get to Sunday and beyond, temperatures at least will climb up into the 40s.
Todd, thanks. We're keeping a close eye on those roads, watching for any slick spots this morning. Here's a look at I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. That is 2 hour east. You can see overall traffic's moving along about up to speed, but you'll want to watch out for any slick spots out there this morning. As we do know, those can creep up on you, especially bridges and overpasses, as Todd mentioned. But you can see everything here is moving along just fine, it looks like. Maybe some slick spots. Some people there, as you can see, kind of going into the shoulder. So we'll continue to monitor this. Let's look over here on I-70 coming in from the west side of town. A 12-minute drive from near the airport to the I-65 area in the south split. No delays. Let's take you back out here to Greenfield, the rest area on I-70, where people are moving pretty slowly. We're getting reports that people have been sliding around and the bridges and overpasses there of I-70. We're also learning that Greenfield Central School District has just called a 2-hour delay. Right now, we have several schools calling delays and cancellations. The full list right now is in the RTV6 app. I can tell you we have 96 at this hour, so that number is growing. Check back in if you already have on the RTV6 app.
Fashion line Prada has reached a settlement over the company's products with blackface imagery. In December of 2018, an attorney general for the City of New York's Commission on Human Rights posted a photo of the products in a Manhattan storefront on Facebook. They quickly went viral with the settlement. Prada says it will start a scholarship and internship program for designers of color and must provide racial equity training for all employees, including Prada's founder and its executives in Italy. The company will also be monitored for 2 years for the progress it's making on racial sensitivity.
It's 5:21. You've seen her play on RTV6, Annalise Keating, and How to Get Away with Murder. And now she's going to portray Michelle Obama. Academy Award-winning actress Viola Davis will play the former First Lady in a new Showtime series titled First Ladies. The show will delve into the personal and political lives of Obama, Eleanor Roosevelt, and Betty Ford. The roles of Roosevelt and Ford have not yet been cast, and an air date for the series has yet to be announced.
McDonald's has several fan-favorite items, and one of them is the Shamrock Shake. The minty green treat has been around for 50 years, and it's coming back February 19th. This year, they are also introducing the Oreo Shamrock McFlurry. That sounds right up Todd Clausen's alley. The classic Shamrock Shake was created by a Connecticut McDonald's owner to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Sales from the shake also help build the first Ronald McDonald House, which helps families of children fighting serious illnesses. Yum. A man in North Carolina had quite the surprise waiting in a box on his front porch. After the break, his reaction after finding bear cubs inside. Yeah, that wasn't a puppy there. We'll have more of that story coming up next.
RTV6 is working for you.
A man in North Carolina found an interesting box on his porch, and it wasn't from the mailman.
And it wasn't from Amazon. Instead, it contained 2 baby bears. Cornelius Williams said he returned home from the grocery store to find the box on his walkway. When he looked inside, he saw the cubs snuggled in a gray sweatshirt. He called police, who told them they are newborn black bears that didn't even have their eyes open yet. Williams said he's just glad there wasn't a mama bear around to go with them.
And when we took them away from their mother, if they had seen me come in my yard, I would have been a happy meal.
Well, bears are common in the area, but officials are still trying to figure out who put the cubs in the box and why they delivered it to Williams. The baby bears are now at a nearby zoo where they are being cared for.
It's a mystery.
Oh, my goodness.
They're very cute.
Oh, they are cute.
That is, yeah, very cute. Now, maybe in about six months, we would have a different opinion.
6 months, probably even shorter than that. But they'll still be cute. You just don't want to be around.
Exactly.
All right, outside, nothing cute about this forecast. You can see visibility still reduced with the overcast sky, and there's some patchy drizzle that you'll encounter as you walk out the door. And with temperatures hovering in the 20s in most locations, that's a little bit of freezing drizzle. So on untreated sidewalks and bridges and roadways, certainly slick conditions will be possible. Give yourself some extra time. We'll lose the drizzle, I think, by about mid-morning, only to replace it with some snow showers later on this afternoon. And because of those snow showers and the drizzle that's out there, this winter weather advisory is still in effect until 10 a.m. this morning. Bottom line is extra time is needed. We'll talk more about the rest of today coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:27.
Work weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Metro police are investigating a shooting on the city's northeast side that has left 4 people dead.
And this morning, officers have harsh words for city leaders due to this continued violence. And February is American Heart Month, and RTV6 is partnering with the Go Red for Women campaign.
Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with the story of how one woman overcame obstacles to lead to a heart-healthy lifestyle. But first, we need to check in on our weather. A lot happening overnight.
Yes, and here's a beautiful live look of downtown Indianapolis from our camera. Todd, it's not a very nice day.
No, the city has definitely looked better, but yeah, the clouds are in place. And yesterday evening, I warned you we'll have that rain, and then soon as the sun would set, that's when we started to run into those issues on the roadways. The sun this time of year, we're getting closer towards the middle of February. It's getting stronger, even though it's behind the clouds. So it's tough to accumulate things when the sun is up unless the precipitation is really, really heavy. And as you walk out the door this morning, you don't see anything on Storm Team 6 radar, and you think, great, it's all moved out, but there is some patchy drizzle out there, just so light you can't pick it up on radar. More significant returns coming in with snow to the north, and then also some snow down to our southwest in the last few frames here. And that's what's going to be moving in later on this afternoon. We're not looking at a lot of snow, but we're going to replace the drizzle from this morning with some snow showers later on this afternoon. Temperatures are currently sitting in the 20s and 30s, and this is significant, and I show you this because we are still below freezing. So that means whatever drizzle is out there is going to be in the form of freezing drizzle. If you left your car outside, you're going to have to scrape that windshield off this morning. And of course, watch those first few steps as you walk out the door, especially if you do have steps. They'll be slick, and maybe just step off into the grass instead of the sidewalk as you walk out to your car. Temperatures today really don't do a whole lot. We'll talk more about these snow showers and the minor accumulation, Lauren, we could see coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We do begin with a developing story on the city's northwest side. Actually, excuse me, real quick, we're going to get into traffic. This is a look in Beech Grove, I-465 and Emerson Avenue. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly there on Emerson. The interstate down below, no problems there. Watch for slick spots on bridges and overpasses. West side traffic, let's take a look at your drive time. This is eastbound I-74, 7-minute drive from State Road 267 to I-465. We'll continue to monitor any issues. Again, we have more than 90 school delays and cancellations this morning. Check the RTV6 app or the bottom of your screen. Now we want to go to that developing story on the city's northeast side. Metro police are working to figure out what led to a shooting that left 4 people dead.
The incident happened around 10:30 last night at the 4100 block of Shady Oak Drive near East 42nd and Mithofer Road. Officers there found 3 men and 1 woman dead inside the home. They all appear to be suffering from gunshot wounds. The identities of those victims or any possible suspects have not been released. Last night's shooting is just the latest incident of violence in the past few days in the Circle City. It happened just about an hour after the Indianapolis City County Council voted not to create a commission to research potential causes of crime in the city.
That discussion attracted a big crowd, including members of the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department and the Fraternal Order of Police. They spoke out in favor of creating this commission. For months, FOP President Rick Snyder has been passionate about holding city leaders accountable to bring an end to the violence here in Indianapolis, and the committee's decision was met with harsh words from Snyder.
We were before the Indianapolis City County Council Public Safety Committee begging our elected leaders to take swift action to confront this violence. We told them we are in the middle of a crisis, and we begged them to take action, and they refused on a party line vote.
Despite that feedback, the committee said existing resources and studies will be used to find solutions to crime and violence.
It is 5:34. Also this morning, a grieving mother is asking for your help to get justice for her daughter. 26-year-old Alexis Edwards was shot and killed just days after Christmas. This happened right outside her own home near 52nd Street and Georgetown Road on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Alexis's mother, Ruby Berry, believes several people know who the alleged killer is because there was an altercation hours before the shooting. Ruby says 4 people went to Alexis's home at 4 a.m. looking for her friend. After that, words were exchanged on social media. Now Ruby's asking for anyone with any information to please come forward.
Our whole family is devastated. It's horrible. It's just a horrible experience, and I just find it in your heart, if you know anything, please contact the police.
Alexis leaves behind a 3-year-old son who was also shot. Thankfully, he is doing okay. The family started a GoFundMe page to raise money for a reward to help with information in this case. You can also leave an anonymous tip by calling Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Today, family, friends, and members of the racing community will gather in Indianapolis for the funeral of veteran driver John Andretti. He died Thursday after a 3-year battle with colon cancer. He was 56. Visitation starts at 10 a.m. at St. Peter and Paul Cathedral downtown and will continue until the funeral mass at 1. We have officially reached the halfway point of the 2020 legislative session. No new bills can be introduced, and anything that hasn't passed its first chamber yet will not be considered for the rest of the session.
Here's our scoreboard of some of the bills that won't become law and some of the bills that still do have a chance this session. First, a bill that would prohibit people from holding their cell phones or other electronic devices while driving is in the Senate. The current distracted driving law only applies to texting and driving, and police say that that's hard to enforce. This bill already passed through the House. If it passes the Senate, it will head to Governor Holcomb's desk. Also, there will still be one bill alive that focuses on addressing teacher pay. It would let schools give teachers who are rated as improvement necessary on their evaluations a pay boost the following year. It would also let schools give bonuses to highly credentialed teachers or teachers in charge of special subjects and classes like special ed, STEM, dual credit, or advanced placement.
And 2 bills that will not be considered: a bill that would require the Marion County prosecutor to charge people for marijuana possession or make other county prosecutors do it. Last year, prosecutor Ryan Mears started a new policy where he won't prosecute for less than an ounce of marijuana. And a proposal that gives more accommodations to pregnant workers is technically still alive, but it was drastically changed this week. Instead of making employers give reasonable accommodations such as seating or schedule changes, the bill calls for a committee to study the issue this summer.
It is 5:37. February is American Heart Month, and RTV6 is partnering with the Go Red for Women campaign, sponsored by the American Heart Association.
This month, we're highlighting women who have overcome health obstacles and are now living heart-healthy lifestyles. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with the story of a woman who changed her life one small goal at a time. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So over the last 2 years, Allison Morrison has been setting tiny goals for herself, whether it be drinking more water, eating a healthier meal, or going for walks each day. But she says those small goals is what led her for big change.
I never thought I would be a before and after.
Allison Morrison has lost 100 pounds since 2017.
I didn't recognize myself. I could barely walk. I was using a cane. I couldn't get out. to take my dog out. I couldn't do stairs.
Morrison had elevated blood pressure and cholesterol, was at risk for developing diabetes, and had doctors suggesting a knee replacement. So she started meeting with a wellness coach and made small changes in her lifestyle, like drinking more water, eating healthier, and walking regularly.
I'm trying to be very active. I walk up to 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And I didn't have to have a knee replacement, which is the best thing. My heart is a lot healthier now.
She's been nominated by her wellness coach as a finalist for the Real People, Real Change Award with the American Heart Association.
I was so honored to be that because my father had passed away of heart disease.
The weight off her waist is now weight off her shoulders, giving her a new lease on life.
I remember myself sitting on the couch. It was a little over 2 years ago, and I just felt as though I was just tied up with the chains. And now I describe it as now I'm running through a field with puppies and glitter falling on me. I mean, it's just two different extremes.
Morrison says without the support of her family and friends, she doesn't think this would have been possible. Now, tomorrow is National Wear Red Day, so if you do wear red, be sure to share it on social media using the hashtag IndyGoesRed. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thanks. Indiana State Police troopers will be able to give kids a few more smiles thanks to a generous donation from a 6th grader. Addison Brown of Lowell started making smile bags when she noticed a classmate going through a hard time. The bags are given to state police stations. Officers who encounter kids are then encouraged to pass them out. They include things like tissues, books, toys, and handwritten notes of encouragement.
I just wanted to spread kindness to the world and other children that are going through hard things in their life.
So far, Addison has donated 300 bags to 7 police departments. Her gifts are going to kids across 6 counties in the state. Here at 5:40, we're going to check in with Todd. Roads are slick this morning.
Yeah, roads, sidewalks are slick, bridges and overpasses. Your front steps, just got to use a lot of caution here this morning as you get out and about. The good news is yesterday afternoon and evening, there were a lot of trucks out from the DPWs and the states across the state, across the area, and those local DPWs, and so they've been doing a good job. There's quite a bit of salt on the roadways. So as we go forward in this commute this morning, right now we're dealing with some patchy freezing drizzle across the area, but still going to give you the red caution signs for your morning commute because there could be those isolated slick spots, although the main roads, at least on my drive into work, were in fairly decent shape. Once we get to this afternoon, though, we're going to replace the freezing drizzle with some snow showers. At that point, visibility becomes an issue, and also the potential for a little bit of snow accumulation. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. President Donald Trump has been acquitted by the U.S. Senate, but one member of his own party voted to convict him on one of the charges. Straight ahead, why Mitt Romney said he had no choice but to break party lines.
And Robert Pattinson has been named the world's sexiest man. Coming up, why he has science to thank for the honor. We'll be right back.
At Zales, the Diamond Store.
After a 3-week trial, the Senate has voted to acquit President Trump of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. One Republican, Mitt Romney, voted with Democrats. Hours before the vote, Romney said he was crossing party lines because Trump was, quote, guilty of an appalling abuse of public trust. He also says it is his duty to vote to convict the president, calling Trump's actions egregious and against the public's trust.
With my vote, I will tell my children and their children that I did my duty to the best of my ability, believing that my country expected it of me. I will only be one name among many, no more, no less, to future generations of Americans who look at the record of this trial. They will note merely that I was among the senators who determined that what the president did was wrong, grievously wrong.
President Trump is expected to give a statement on the impeachment trial later today.
A newborn has tested positive for coronavirus just 1 day after being born. That's according to Chinese state media. That baby tested positive on Monday, 30 hours after being born in a hospital in Wuhan. The city has been ground zero for that virus. Health officials say the baby is now the youngest person with a confirmed case of coronavirus. The newborn is reportedly in stable condition and being monitored. The Wuhan coronavirus claimed the lives of 563 people. Meanwhile, back here in the States, 2 more flights carrying evacuated citizens from China are expected later this week as the world continues to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. Tuesday night, 2 other flights arrived in California. These passengers will spend all the time in federal quarantine. For many, that will mean staying on a military base for up to 14 days. The government provides all the arrangements for food and shelter, but it doesn't come for free. If an evacuee has health insurance, the government will bill them. Evacuees will also be billed for their flight out of China, and they'll have to make their own travel arrangements once the quarantine ends.
After a month down under battling wildfires, 20 California firefighters are now back home. The Angeles National Forest firefighters left for Australia just after the new year. They returned Wednesday greeted by family and friends. The group spent several weeks working alongside the Victoria Rural Fire Service. Bushfires in Australia have scorched more than 27 million acres and killed 33 people. Millions of animals also died. The group says they were happy to repay Australian firefighters for their previous help. Firefighters from Australia deployed to California in 2018 to fight wildfires in the northern part of the state. Here at 5:47, let's check in with Todd.
All right, I'm starting you off with the temperatures here this morning for a reason, and that's because they are below freezing in all locations with the exception of Bedford, which is sitting right at freezing at 32 degrees. So no matter where you are here across central Indiana, you have to use caution as you walk out the door because with the temperatures below freezing and also a little bit of freezing drizzle that is still out there, there could be some slick spots on the roadways. Obviously, we had the heavier precipitation last night into the early morning hours today, so there's a lot of slick spots currently out across central Indiana. You notice the temperatures today really don't get above freezing, so if nothing gets treated, there's not going to be a whole lot of melting that takes place. And then as we work our way into the afternoon hours, we're actually going to add snow showers to the equation. So it's just going to be one of those days where there's kind of a lot going on, but nothing that's going to be all that heavy. So you just got to give yourself some extra time and use caution out there on the roadways. When you look at the satellite radar picture, you obviously see the clouds that are in place, but not much in the way of returns here across central Indiana. There's a few just north of Dayton, but what we'll look at is off to our north and down to our south where you see the snow. That is going to make its way into the area. So for your morning commute today, you definitely have the drizzle. Those slick spots will replace the drizzle, though, with snow showers as the colder air aloft comes in later on this afternoon. And what I mean by that is I showed you the surface temperatures, but you just get a couple hundred feet above the ground, and that's where temperatures are above freezing, and that's why precipitation doesn't have enough time to turn to sleet or snow before it hits the ground. However, as that colder air comes in the upper levels of the atmosphere, that's why later on this afternoon we'll be dealing with these snow showers starting to develop across the area. They'll be scattered. They should generally be fairly light. Probably the biggest concern would be some visibility issues out on the roadways this afternoon for your drive home into work, and that should be just about it. As far as potential accumulation goes, even with the snow showers that linger into Friday, we're talking only about a couple hundredths of an inch of snow, and that is enough for a dusting to maybe just a little bit more. So when you hear snow showers, don't be so concerned about potential accumulation. It's more of an issue with visibility on the roadways and maybe an additional slick spot or two as those temperatures stay below freezing throughout the entire day. Tomorrow, not much warmer. We get up to about 33 degrees, but tomorrow is a fairly dry day. A few showers in the morning, snow showers rather, and then just clouds throughout the afternoon. But the weekend brings back in some snow showers on Saturday, and on Sunday, we bring rain showers into this forecast as the overall weather pattern remains very active in your next 7 days across central Indiana. The one thing you do notice, though, while it's very chilly here today, tomorrow, and even on Saturday, once we get to Sunday and beyond, temperatures will be back above normal into the 40s. In fact, by the middle of next week, we could be about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on your roads this morning as we may have some slick spots out there. I do want to take you down to southern parts of Johnson County and Edinburgh here, where we do have a crash cleanup on your interstate. A jackknife semi in the southbound lanes of I-65 near State Road 252. We know the left lane is blocked at this hour, may cause you some delays. So if you want to avoid this spot, you can see over there just west of I-65, US 31. You can take that from areas like Franklin and head southbound there. Reconnect with the interstate just south of this crash cleanup. We'll continue to monitor this and keep you updated. No reports of any injuries yet, but let's take you look up here to US 31 and I-465, where you can see some icicles forming on our camera. We We know that the roads are wet, but there could be those icy spots out there, as you can see from our camera here. So just use caution, especially on bridges and overpasses.
A memorial is growing on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in honor of the late Kirk Douglas. The legendary actor, producer, and director died Wednesday. Douglas was born to Russian immigrant parents in 1916. He headed to Hollywood after serving in the Navy during World War II. Some of his most famous film roles include roles in Spartacus, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Champion. Douglas celebrated his 100th birthday in 2016 and was described by his guests as being in shape and able to walk with confidence. According to his son, actor Michael Douglas, Kirk died at his home at the age of 103 from natural causes.
Jay-Z is clearing the air, explaining why he sat during the national anthem at Super Bowl 54. TMZ posted video of him, Beyonce, and their daughter Blue Ivy sitting while Demi Lovato sang the Star-Spangled Banner, which sparked a lot of controversy online. Many thought it was a silent protest, but Jay-Z says that was not the case. He says that he was distracted by his job. His company, Rock Nation, has a partnership with the NFL that includes producing the Super Bowl halftime show and other major performances. Jay-Z says that he was evaluating the microphone levels and speaker layout. He also said that he would never put his young daughter in the position of being part of a protest.
It was a short run for John Legend. British newspaper The Daily Mail has crowned a new world's sexiest man, and that honor goes to Robert Pattinson. The publication says Pattinson meets the standard based on the so-called golden ratio of beauty called pi. According to the ratio, on a perfect face, the equal length of an ear is equal to the length of a nose, and the width of an eye is equal to the distance between the eyes. Pattinson's face came closest to that ratio at just over 92%. He was closely followed by Henry Cavill, Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt, and George Clooney.
We're going to get our measuring tape out and
we're going to go see what Todd looks like.
Okay, pretty interesting there. Well, you're looking for the perfect Valentine's Day gift for that fast food lover in your life. In-N-Out has got you covered. Coming up, why they say their new shoe will go farther than a box of chocolates. We'll be right back.
.org/Indy goes red.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner. If you're looking for something for your sweetie, In-N-Out Burger has just the thing. The chain is releasing a new pair of shoes for the burger lover in your life. The drink cup shoes are inspired by In-N-Out's cup design. They're slip-on shoes covered in red palm trees and are available in his, hers, and youth versions. They cost around $65 though for the adult version and just under $40 for the kids size. You can complete the look with other branded apparel, including hats, socks, shirts, and onesies. All right, have either of you ever had In-N-Out?
No.
Todd?
I have.
Okay, it's good.
I want to try it sometime.
I like In-N-Out a lot. I know it's a very polarizing topic. You know, In-N-Out is the best. Yeah. All these other burger places are the best.
You know, I haven't met too many burgers I don't like. So, whether it's In-N-Out, whether it's...
Yeah, I think I honestly would just be happy with someone shipping me an In-N-Out burger from out west.
Yeah,
saying I don't need the shoes. Yeah.
I like them all. I'll eat them all. Yep. So it doesn't matter to me. All right, outside right now, temperatures are below freezing. That is key. You don't see a whole lot on Storm Team 6 radar, but there is still some drizzle out there. And with these temperatures below freezing, that will be in the form of some freezing drizzle. So there still could be some icing on the roadways, especially untreated surfaces. So just be aware of that. And then as we work our way into the afternoon hours, we'll bring in the chance of some snow showers for your evening drive home. So a very wintry day today with a temperature that tops off only at 31 degrees. The time now is 5:57. Stay with us. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.